This is your boy Roto Beast. I'm here with my boy Jeremy, aka DFS Dudes, and we're here to present you our NBA morning shoot around for Tuesday, December 11th. If you're new to this channel, please make sure you click the subscribe button below. This way you can watch all my NBA, NFL, and MLB videos. If you haven't came and checked out our website here at dfscheatsheet.com, you're absolutely missing out. We have all the tools to help you compete with the pros day in and day out, including a complete optimizer, tons of content, daily Fanduel and DraftKings cash lineups. Hey, we're truly a one-stop shop for all your DFS needs. Check out the site, dfscheatsheet.com. So, hey, how you doing out there, Jeremy?
Hey, man, I'm doing good. And you know what? Every time that I log into the site and go to the optimizer, I'm just blown away with the new features we continue to add and how interactive we make this tool. You can see now on my screen our starting lineups page is improving. It's now interactive with your player pool. You can literally come here, check out statistics, see if you want to lock the guy, like the guy, exclude the guy, etc. So I'm just jumping right into it, man, because every time I come on here, I'm just excited with all the new tools we continue to launch, start showing up here within the optimizer.
Yeah, so I mean, real quick before we get into this, congrats yesterday. You guys can see on the screen right here. Jeremy took down the $3 first place for 10,000 off of $3. Great day for you yesterday. The optimizer's really been paying off for us, man. So tell us a little bit about that win, real quick.
I was just really locked in on a core, and I actually had a lot more entries. And typically the way I play, like I'll get a lot of entries, and then like if my player pool is really big, I'll kind of enter different cores in tournaments and kind of max in around a core. And I ended up canceling like max center in the 444 and a max center in this, I think it was the 777. And I just went with a $3. I just liked the tournament. It was a good payout. Had a really good core I like. The day was nuts, bro. Like if you watched football yesterday, the day was nuts. Like I had at one point, I had a certain set of lineups that had Kittle, had Jordy Nelson, and had Keenan Allen and the second running back for San Diego, and they were in second and third. So I was like really rooting on Jordy Nelson. The Raiders are marching down. They score, they get the lead. I'm like, I move into first place. And I had a guy putting lights on my house last night. So I go outside, I come back in, and like all my lineups like flopped, and I was in first place, but like different lineups. Well, the Dallas Cowboy game was going nuts, and I was all over Amari Cooper yesterday, and I had a ton of Ezekiel Elliott. I actually locked Zeke into 150 out of 150 of my lineups that I played in that tournament. I was that big on Zeke yesterday. So it was a crazy day. The last 4 minutes of those 5 late games were absolutely nuts. You got a kicker slipping and falling. You got touchdowns galore. It was just nuts, man. At the end of it, that's how it shook out. First place, man. It was nice to see I can still take tournaments down. It's been since baseball season since I've taken a tournament down. So it was cool to you know, I still got it, right? I still got it. So
Yeah, for sure, man. So hey, let's just get into this slate. We got a small 3-game slate. Before we do jump into it, if you guys don't mind, please take that quick second for me. Click the like button down below. If that helps me out a lot, I really appreciate that from you guys. And yeah, man, talk a little bit of basketball. Tonight was another good night for the money team. Very, very profitable night on FanDuel, with our cash line. Great night for sure. So yeah, man, tomorrow's a 3-game slate. Pretty much, we've been saying it all year. Usually, a 3-4 game slate is usually a strictly GPP slate. I think honestly, it's pretty much the same for this slate, strictly GPP. But yeah, man, so I'm just ready to get into it. So we'll start with the game is actually probably the best game on the slate. You got the Portland Trailblazers going into Houston to face the Rockets. This game has a 220.5 over under, and Houston's favored by 6.5 in this one.
Yeah, so I mean, the first guy that sticks out to me is Nurkic's price of 9,000. And we talk about all the time with guys getting priced up on short slates. And 9,000, I can't remember a time this guy's been 9,000. I mean, 9,000 for Nurkic just seems like, wow, why would I pay 9,000 for Nurkic? And you look, and he hasn't done anything at all to warrant 9,000. 35, 25, 30, 49. He's got a 49-point game. So in tournaments, you need 45.5 at this price tag, and the guy has gotten you that once in his last 10 games. So it just shows you how much they price guys up on this slate. Dame at 10-2, that's Steph Curry. I mean, that's Steph Curry range. Like 10-2 is what I want to pay for Steph Curry. You know what I mean? McCollum, 7,300. The guy is so scoring dependent. So this is a tough spot for me because what they've done is they've priced everybody so high on the slate that you're going to have to pick 2 or 3 guys you absolutely love and then go find value to play around them. So value, if you want to start with that, Evan Turner. This is an Evan Turner type of game at 4,700. I think you could take a look at him. Maurice Harkless, the guy, look, the guy he's come back. He's now getting the rotation. You can see he's had a couple of solid games at 25-9 against San Antonio and 22-2. His price is only 4,400. This is the type of guy that you're going to need, a type of guy like a Maurice Harkless to come out of nowhere. So this is not exciting for me. Al-Farouq Aminu at 6,300, not exciting. This guy's a $5,000 to $5,500 player all day long. I can't justify this either at 6,300. Like, I'm looking at this slate, and the way I do things, bro, is I go get my entries way in advance, right? So I'm maxing it in like a couple tournaments tomorrow, and I'm thinking about just looking at this now, like, why do I even want to get in it?
Yeah, for sure. No, I get you, man. So yeah, on the Houston side of things, I mean, it's really the same thing. Chris Paul, 8,200. It seems like a fair price for Chris Paul. We need 41 for value, but Chris Paul just really hasn't been. I mean, he's been playing decent, I guess, but I mean, nothing really special. I mean, he hasn't got more than 37 fantasy points since coming back in 5 straight games. The minutes have been kind of up and down. 8,200. We need, like I said, 41 for value. I mean, I think that this is a fair price for Chris Paul compared to some of the other, guys that we're talking about that's really priced up. But man, I'm just not really feeling Chris Paul. He just right now he's not really, playing super well. You got James Harden, 11.5. I feel like this is a decent price tag for him. But at the same time, man, we need 57 for value, and he's only got 57. He hasn't even got 50 in the past 5 games since Chris Paul has come back. So, I think Chris Harden probably is going to be one of the chalkier spots on the slate. You may have to just kind of fit him in there somehow, but I don't know, man. I just and we always talk about it. Small slate, overpriced guys makes things very tough. Jim's in it, 4,000, still fair price tag in the starting lineup. He hasn't had, no super good games, but we know this guy has 30, 35 fantasy point upside at a 4,000 price tag. If you're looking for a cheap guy, definitely think he's somebody you could consider. And then you got Capella going against Nurkic. We always talk about it. We don't really like taking big guys that are pretty good against each other because they bang down low. Somebody's going to get in foul trouble. At this price tag, we need 45 for value. He's got us 45 once in the past 5 games. So I just don't really like the big guys going at each other. Honestly, I'm not really excited about none of these Houston guys. But I definitely think, if you're going to be targeting a couple guys, it's going to be Chris Paul, Harden, and then possibly Ennis as a cheap GPP.
And moving on.
Cool. Next game, we got Phoenix going into San Antonio to face the Spurs. This game has a 218 over-under. San Antonio is favored by 12.5.
So you look at Nurkic, right, and you look at Capella and their prices, then you look at this guy DeAndre Ayton at 6,600, right? I believe he was 66 or 6,500 tonight, right? And he had a really good night tonight. So this is the guy to me at center that you play. We know the story with San Antonio. They don't really have a center. It's LaMarcus Aldridge. Gasol's not playing. Pirtle's another guy that they're playing at center. But you start looking at DeAndre Ayton, and for 6,600, he's 26.2 minutes, 13 points, 8 rebounds. He's got you 27.66. So it's not quite 6x, it's not quite 5x, and not even close to 6x, but the upside is there. I would much rather pay the 6,600 on this slate for DeAndre Ayton and his upside against, LaMarcus Aldridge is not a true center. They struggle against center. So that's a good spot to look. Another guy to point out is TJ Warren. The guy comes back. They said he'd be on limited minutes. He played 12 minutes tonight. That's beyond limited. So you really got to pay attention and see what's going to happen with Warren. Was it a test? Did something happen before you can even think about plugging him in at 6,400? But I think if Warren does play and gets a full complement of minutes tomorrow at 6,400, he's a guy you can definitely look at against this Spurs team. Warren he should see high usage without Devin Booker. One thing I'll quickly point out, though, is Trevor Ariza. I don't think you can play him right now. I think you have to just not avoid – I think you have to completely avoid Trevor Ariza until we figure out and know what's going to happen with the trade with the Lakers. I know they're in talks. I know it's about Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. Will Pope say yes to the trade, and will Pope let the trade happen? So until I know what's going to go on with that, the NBA with FanDuel is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So this drop spot thing has gotten out of control because you just can't afford to play in Ariza and find out 5 minutes after lock he's been traded especially on this slate, and find out 5 minutes later he's been traded to the Lakers. So, Melton, if you want to take a look at him at 5,300, he's going to start. Outside of that, there's only a couple guys that you can really play. Josh Jackson, TJ Warren's a wait and see on the minutes. DeAndre Ayton, definitely playable. Ariza, don't really want to get into it till I know what's going on, trade, no trade, etc. Melton, you can play as well, and that's really it.
Yeah, man, I definitely think the Ayton is the best center on this slate for sure. Very fair price tag. So for the San Antonio Spurs, it's really only 3 guys. 9.6 for DeRozan, super high price tag. Very, very high. But he's playing well, and 4 of the past 5 games, he's got you at least 47 fantasy points. On a 9.6 price tag, we need about 47 for value. He's priced up on the small slate, but definitely think he gives you a solid floor going against Phoenix. Then you got, Rudy Gay. He's been playing pretty well 2 of the past 3 games. He's got, 43 or more fantasy points. It's all about minutes with him. When he gets the minutes, he does well. He's getting some extra rebounds as well. We know that they don't have a real big guy, so Aldridge's going to need help with that. He's been helping out getting some rebounds. And then you got Aldridge. I think of all 3 of the guys, I think Aldridge is the most fair priced. 8,400 for value. We need about 42. He's definitely been up and down. A lot of guys have really been up and down. I think Aldridge is in a solid spot right here, though. I definitely think that he can have a good game against the young rookie in Ayton. I think that he is in play. He had a bad game last game against Phoenix. So, I can see him kind of being like, hey, man, last game was kind of bad for me. I'm going to step up this game and get him this time at home. So I think that Aldridge is a solid play. But, the thing that really scares me is that I think this game could definitely get out of hand. And, you got DeRozan, Aldridge, and Gay. They're trying to get rested as much as possible. So they could definitely get their minutes buzzed, especially with Phoenix on the second end of a back-to-back. And that game went into overtime as well.
But look, that's my point, dude. My point is that the Spurs are bad. They're very bad. They're one of the since game 6 of the season, they're almost last in defensive efficiency. So they're bad too. And Phoenix they were competitive tonight, really competitive. The one guy you didn't mention that you have to mention is Jakob Poeltl. This guy's the best center on the slate tomorrow. By far, he's the best center play on the slate at 4,200. Because of the fact that Ayton, you don't know what I think Ayton's price is fair. I said that, but to be different in tournaments, Jakob Poeltl is the best center play, averaging 21.78 fantasy points per game over his last 5 games. He's had a couple of really nice games as well. I actually played him on Friday in all my tournaments and got 29.6 out of him. So I like Poeltl a lot. You can see his recent game history: 30.9, 15.6, 29.6. This 14.2, that's against Utah and Rudy Gobert. Pau Gasol is out. They don't have another center. I loved to play Poeltl last year when he was in Toronto. And they used him like they use Siakam now. And this guy really excelled in a lot of different spots. I think against Phoenix, you got 2 opportunities. If the game blows out, Poeltl will get extended run, and he can get you points in a hurry. So I think Poeltl is one of the best tournament plays on the slate, and I think he's the best center tournament play on the entire slate.
Yeah, I definitely think he's a solid GPP play for sure. So moving on, next game we're going to go with is going to be Toronto Raptors going into Los Angeles to face the Clippers. This game, we're waiting on some injury news and stuff right now, so we don't have an over-under or a Vegas line yet. But go ahead and get us started with the Toronto side of things.
The funny thing is, I on this slate, I feel like Kawhi Leonard at 10-7 is a decent play. I really do. I think that, look, I know the Clippers went to overtime. But the Clippers are playing really good basketball. They're playing good team basketball. They got a lot of guys who are contributing in the rotation. I know we're waiting on to see what's up with Lou Williams. He left tonight's game early and didn't return. But outside of that, I mean, they've got a lot of guys who contribute. So I think they can keep this game close. They've been competitive with everybody in the West. I think we both would agree the West is far better than the East is as far as 1 through 10. So I don't mind paying 10-7 for Kawhi on this slate. I think Kyle Lowry at 7,800 is an absolute steal, especially on this slate. Siakam and Ibaka. I'm more on Siakam than I am Ibaka and Valanciunas for this game. So for me, the three guys I really like are Leonard, Lowry, and Siakam. I think Ibaka is okay for tournaments. Danny Green seems like he could be a difference maker tomorrow. And Danny Green, averaging almost 33 minutes over his last 5 games. If this guy, it's all about the three. If he gets it going and can knock down 3, 4, 5 threes with all the other stuff he does, the steals, the blocks, the rebounds, etc., this guy has the opportunity to be a really solid shooting guard number 2 that you could pair with a James Harden tomorrow. So I think this. I actually think this may be the better game on the slate. I just think that the Clippers are an underrated team. We've talked about how well Tobias Harris and Montrezl Harrell have played together. They got other guys coming on as well. So I think this game could stay competitive. It's in LA. I like this game probably the best of the 3.
Yeah, man, and I mean on the Clipper side of things, there's a couple spots that I do like. One spot that's really standing out to me is I really like Avery Bradley, 3,900. His minutes are definitely they've been up there. I mean, he's playing, 31, 36, 29, 32, 36. He's really starting to get his minutes back. We know this guy. This guy's a good player, and he's starting to work his way back. He was injured earlier in the year. And he has 40 fantasy point upside. I played Avery Bradley a lot last year when he was on the Pistons, and I just think this is a dirt cheap price for him, 3,900, especially if Lou Williams is out. His minutes are definitely going to be there. They're going to need a little bit extra scoring from him. I like him in this spot a lot, especially if Lou Williams is out. Then you go to Tobias Harris. I mean, this guy is just absolutely dominated right now. Had a really good game tonight against Phoenix. I think he scored like 50 fantasy points. The guy, I mean, he's been playing very well. Harrell, his price tag 6'7". Played him tonight and he busted on me. I definitely think he's a GPP play because he busted tonight. You could go back to the well, but I'm not going to play this guy. His minutes are kind of just all over the place. Sometimes he gets missed, sometimes he doesn't. Sometimes they play Boban, sometimes they play Gortat. But this guy, he plays about 26 minutes, 27 minutes a game off the bench. I'm just not really liking him at this price tag. For me, it's really, I mean, I like Avery Bradley and I like Tobias Harris. If they were going to give, like, Boban started tonight, but he only played like 11, like he only played a little bit of minutes. If they were going to give this guy 25 minutes at a 3,700 price tag, then he would be a really, really good play as well. They're just not giving him those kind of minutes. I mean, that's really it for me on the Clipper side of things. I mean, you could possibly throw in this guy, Alexander. He's a guy that's his minutes have been up and down as well. But if Lou Williams is out, then there's going to be more minutes in the guard spot. So I think Alexander could pick up a couple extra minutes as well.
I really like Boban tomorrow, and I'll tell you why. They play him against teams that have a center, right? They have a legit center. So you look at the way Toronto plays, and we'll just have to wait and see if they're going to start. That's kind of like, for me, the indicator if you play Boban or not. If they're going to start him, then at least he's going to get some minutes, and then it kind of like go from there, right? If he doesn't start, you don't even know if he's going to get up off the bench. So that's the first thing. But there's not a big guy. There's not a big guy that they can roll out in their second rotation as far as Toronto goes, right? Like, they either start Ibaka or they start Valanciunas, and they roll one of those other two guys out there. So if Valanciunas is going to start and Boban's going to start, I love Boban. I think Boban could be a really good tournament play. But still, you look at centers, and I'm going to stick with what I said. I think Pirtle is one of the best plays on the whole slate.
Yeah, for sure. So I think that's about all we got for you guys. Thank you very much for checking out this video. Tomorrow I will be back with my NBA core plays for the day. Jeremy will be with his be out with his GPP core plays over there on the DFS Cheat Sheet YouTube channel. Hey
No
man,
core play tomorrow.
Robin?
I don't do core play on short slate.
Oh no. All right. Well, hey man, thank you guys for checking it out. Man, if you haven't already, come check out the site, dfscheatsheet.com. We're adding new tools every single day. So check it out. All right, guys. Have a good night. Good luck on your contest tomorrow. Peace out.